For those of you who watch this channel on the regular and actually care, I'm not doing any better than I was yesterday. Today, I finally got a chance to get tested. I had to wait for 3.5 hours by a local hospital by me, St. Joseph's Regional. I did it through the drive-through. They got vans out front. It was crazy though. I'm in a lot of pain, honestly. Throbbing headache and just a lot of body aches and stuff. But hopefully I get the result. They said it could take up to 36 hours. So I'm just going to isolate until I have the result. And then, I've already started to let people know that I most likely have it. I think I was exposed over the weekend, but you're not here for that. You are here for Square stock, or what now is Block. So Square decided to go ahead and become more three-dimensional. They added a dimension to the square, so they extruded the square, and now apparently it's a block. So what happened after they made a name change from Square to Block, seemingly out of nowhere? Well, they got sued by H&R Block for trademark infringement. Come on, H&R. Why you gotta be a block like that? So for those of you that have been following the channel for a really long time, you know that Square has been my baby. They were my first episode on stocks. BBB, the Bulls, the Bears, and the Bats, if you remember. Square was my largest holding in my portfolio for a very long time. So full disclaimer, I own no shares of Square stock anymore as of a couple of months ago. I'm going to show you the exact trades that I made. It was really difficult to let go of Square because I believe in the company. I love it, but the PE was just too high. The fundamentals and all the fears of inflation and potentially a growth sell-off that did happen when it comes to growth stocks, it just wasn't worth holding it anymore. And I'll show you the exact trades, the exact dates. I sold it for a profit for a lot more than it's trading at today. And I'm actually looking at getting back into Square stock, and I have a limit price set. I'll show you the exact limit order that I have, the price that I'm hoping Square actually dips down to. And if it doesn't, I miss out. But I'm a believer in buying stocks really, really cheap and selling into strength, buying into weakness, selling into strength. So for those of you that are very new to Square Inc. or Block Inc. now, I want to cover exactly how they generate revenue and the different facets of their business. So they obviously have a commerce section, and that's that chip that you see people put into their phone, and they could slide credit cards so they could charge easy. They have a lot of point of sale systems. That's what's called POS. When you see that, that's not piece of shit. That's point of sale systems. They have a lot of website offerings because they bought Weebly back in the day. Weebly is kind of like Square or Wix. And then they also have a lot of payment processing software. So invoices, they make everything really, really easy for businesses. I use Square for everything. Whenever I collect for website maintenance or photography, if it's quarterly, if it's monthly, I always use Square. I get a credit card, put it on file, always use Square. It's great with invoices. I love it. They have a banking aspect to their business. They're now in the banking business. They're officially a bank. So they're going to be able to do loans and other things that a bank can do. And hopefully in the future, they're actually going to be physical bank locations where you can actually do a lot with crypto. I think that's going to be huge. They are in the payment processing like Venmo. So they have Cash App, which is a direct rival to Venmo. And through the Cash App, you can actually buy Bitcoin. You can invest in stocks, and that's only going to continue to grow. They're doing amazing things with Cash App. They have Tidal. They haven't done a lot with it yet, but it has a lot of promise. It is the NFT music platform. You can also stream podcasts, video streaming, and I think that will be integrated later on, and it'll generate a lot of revenue and hopefully profit later on. Afterpay is very interesting. They bought this buy now, pay later company, and I have a little bit of a raised eyebrow when it comes to buy now, pay later, because I think a lot of people will default on it, and I'm not a huge believer in it, but it is a huge thing in the space right now, and a lot of the competitors to Square, after Square bought Afterpay, they went and they also bought buy now, pay later companies. And it's also worth mentioning that Square owns over 8,000 Bitcoin, and at today's prices, that's like $387 million or somewhere around there. And the thing you have to realize is that even if Square's business model just stays as is, or they're growing slowly, but Bitcoin does hit that 150,000 or 200,000 price within the next 2 years, Square stock's gonna explode to the moon because they're holding so much Bitcoin, so they're gonna make money off that. But also, people use Cash App to buy Bitcoin, and there's just a lot that they're gonna do with blockchain. Remember, Jack Dorsey, he basically quit Twitter so that he can focus full time on Square, on crypto. And so now that he has full focus on Square, and I think he's brilliant. He's right up there with like Elon Musk as far as the entrepreneurs and the innovators of today. He's done some amazing things. If you want to read about his bio and just the innovation that he's created in the tech space is amazing. I'm a huge fan of the guy. I'm a believer in the team behind Square. They know what they're doing. But as I'll get into a little bit later in the video, there are some red flags when it comes to fundamentals. So if you look at the valuation measures, some of them are a bit overpriced in comparison to the competitors. And honestly, I have a huge headache right now. So I'm going to hop behind the screen. I'm going to crank out this video. I'm hoping to hit 10,000 subs by January 1st. Otherwise, I will be in bed right now. But I made that promise to myself. So whether I have the virus or not, I'm going to try to hit that goal. So without further ado, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the technicals and fundamentals. Okay, so if you guys are curious as to what happened to my position in Square, you can see here that starting in August and ending in middle of September, I basically cleared out my entire position because I felt like if there was a huge sell-off when it comes to growth stocks and such, that Square is going to take a huge hit because the PE ratio is just too high. I'm a believer in Square. I want to champion Square, but I also care about my money. I can't just let it slide and see myself lose all the profits. So as you see here, I sold 35 shares for $273 on August 2nd. I sold another 15 shares on August 4th for $265. And on September 17th, I went ahead and I tapped out. I sold 100 shares, my entire position that was remaining in Square, and that was at a price of $254. So now let's take a look at what Square is trading at today and what the technicals look like. So if we take a look here, it's actually quite crazy. You can see that over here, before the whole drop in March of 2020, you can see that Square kept hitting a resistance line of about $83. And it was sitting at a support hovering somewhere around $51, $55. And then all of a sudden, the March sell-off happened. You could have got Square as cheap as $32, which is bananas because just a year later, you could have sold it for $276. That's tremendous amounts of profit. Square did very well during the pandemic because we had a cashless payment systems. The Cash App grew like wildfire. They were bringing in good revenue, good earnings, and they were heavy into Bitcoin, heavy into crypto. And Bitcoin was on a bull run and people were betting big on Square. However, you can see here that ever since it hit that resistance line of somewhere around 270 several times, over here after October 29th, it went on a slide. And now it's trading at just $167. And its lows, if we take a look here, its lows just a few days ago, it hit $157.85. This is wild. And honestly, this point right here, I would be surprised if this is as low as it goes, is $158. Because there isn't really a lot of action technical wise for that to occur. What I am looking at is this level right here. And I'm actually going to put bets in. So I'm going to put a buy limit order for $136, maybe $137 for Square, maybe something around 80 or 90 shares. And if it triggers, it triggers. This is the point where I will be okay holding Square stock because again, they are a bank. There's been a lot of developments. Ever since they hit the 1-year high of $289, it's just been a skid from there, but there is a lot of room to run. But we're going to have to set the pace for the market to go ahead and be okay with investing in high PE stocks again, high growth stocks, really bullish plays. There will have to be a bullish market as far as innovation, growth is concerned. But again, even if there isn't, Square on the next couple of earnings call can surprise. There's a lot of ways for Square to win. there's seller ecosystem. A lot more people can be bringing in and generating revenue. There's also a way, if Bitcoin goes up, that the Cash App makes a lot more money, or because they're sitting on so much Bitcoin on their balance sheets already, they can make a lot of money that way as well. And so there's a lot of ways that Square can keep reeling in good profits, good margins, good earnings, but still the PE value, it's just too high. Let's take a look. So if we take a look at Square, we could see that the PE ratio is 167.88. That is quite high. Now you can argue because Square is a bank, or I should say Block now, because Block has a lot of Bitcoin and it's betting big on itself. The Cash App is growing. It hasn't matured as much as Venmo has. But if you look at its direct competitor, PayPal, you will notice something that is slightly alarming. And that is that their PE is a lot lower. Look at this, just 46.09. And the market cap of PayPal is 225, whereas the market cap of Square is 77 billion. So definitely Square is still on the rise. It hasn't matured as much as PayPal, but PayPal has a strong foothold. And remember, they took a big gamble on going ahead and buying Afterpay, and that means that they're betting big on the buy now, pay later model. And sometimes that doesn't always work out. The whole betting big on a certain model because you're sure it's going to work out. And Square is known for making really big bets. They bet big on the whole NFT space with buying Tidal. That hasn't proved to be a moneymaker yet. They went ahead and bought Afterpay. That hasn't proved to be a winner yet. And they're a bank now. And soon we might even see like a blockchain Bitcoin crypto banks, and that would really be the banking system of the future. But we're a bit away from all of that happening. And so in the next couple of quarters, if there's broader market sell-offs, if the growth sector takes a hit, if inflation scare investors away from stocks, this could be a lot of reasons that could drive the price lower. So at $167, I'm just not ready to plow in quite yet, especially because it's been taking a nosedive. But once the nosedive ends, I might as well get my hands dirty again, buy up Square. Square's been amazing to me, made lots of profit off of Square stock, and right now I am sitting on the sidelines. Again, if this thing balloons to 400, I miss out, but at the same time, I love to buy very cheap, and I love to sell into strength. Buy into weakness, sell into strength has been my strategy over the years, and it's helped out quite a bit as far as profits. And so I hope you guys learned something in this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know, are you an investor in Square? Do you like this type of content? Which stock do you want me to cover next? Which options trading strategy? Which crypto? Do it all on this channel. I will see you guys soon enough. Be well, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video.